Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today's card was inspired by Susan Campfield. What a great designer. She made this M card she calls a marvelous card because it creates that M that you see right there. I wrote down her measurements to make this card using the Celebrate the Miracle stamp set that Stampin' Up! Has out for Hanukkah. And I love this. I just love the Jewish people, and so I would, of course, love this stamp set. So I was going to make her measurement card, and then I ended up making a happy accident because technically this wasn't supposed to be on the inside. The card is supposed to tuck like this, and this sits on the outside. So I actually ended up making this fun little card with this sentiment on the inside that pops up when the recipient opens it, but it was actually, I did it wrong, but it really made a cute card. And I think it would be really cute if it was tied shut with the silver and white ribbon that we have, the sheer ribbon. So anyhow, I'm going to teach you the way that I came up with this, okay? Once again, thank you, Susan, for your measurements. Okay, so I wanted to use all of these fantastic images in here. The dreidels, the Star David, and the candelabra. So here we're going to do here, first, I don't want to mix any of my pieces up. Well, I will mix them up. You're going to start out with a 5.5 inch tall, but you're going to cut your paper down to 8 inches. And then you are going to score it. This is my little template that I made to see how it goes together. You're going to score it at 1 5/8, and then 1 7/8, and then jump over to 3 3/4, and then 4 1/4, and then 6 1/8, and then 6 3/8. So it leaves you these two little sections here that are a 1/4 inch, and this section in the middle here is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so then what I did when I started designing the card is I knew I wanted something in the middle, and then these two, and actually when the first time I made it, I actually put the paper on the wrong side. It was supposed to go the other way, but I was learning there. Okay, so what I did is I knew that these pieces were gonna be 1 3/8, because this measurement is 1 5/8. When we made the first score line, it's 1 5/8 on this side and this side. So that meant this piece was going to be 5 1/4, and then it would be 1 3/8. So I just added 3/8 and 3/8, which is what? 6/8, which was reduced to 3/4. So that would be 1 inch, 2 inches, and then 3/4 when you put the 3/8 together. So you essentially needed a 2 3/4 inch piece of the silver that I use the cross hatching from the Basics 3D embossing folders that I do believe are on the online exclusives still available. Now, actually, I don't think they are now that I think about it, but I love the pattern in it. So I just added on this 1/4 inch here because this space here is a 1/2. So then when you add it all together, it's just simply a 3 inch piece by 5 1/4. So I just took that 3 inch piece here, make sure I'm doing my math right. Yep, 3 inches, and then I'm just going to cut it down to the pieces I need. And of course, my little trimmer is off somewhere else. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to bring out this, oh, this was my favorite guillotine cutter. So we're gonna cut at 1 3/8. We're going to look at the measurements, not at these terrible nails. And it just never works out the right days I'm supposed to do this. 1 3/8 again. Okay. 1 3/8. And then that last piece that pops off of there is just a 1/4 inch. So 1 3/8, 1 3/8, 1/4. Okay. And that is just going to pop onto these little. Now, when you're looking at this card, notice that the silver is on the back, okay? So that's where I made my mistake when I did this. But I am going to go ahead and get my glue that was sitting, where's that glue? I just had the glue. Where's the glue? Because I wanted to use the glue that is working wonderfully for me, not one that Oh my gosh, where is that glue? Oh my gosh, guys, it's right in front of my face. To say that I am a hot mess lately trying to do things, and you know, I have another granddaughter coming any minute now. The blood pressure's up for my daughter-in-law, Julianne, so I am on call at, okay, why isn't this glue coming down? So I'm on call. Okay, so this glue is not working for me, so I'm gonna get my little pin here and get this, and you know, I just used this glue like 5 seconds ago. Okay, there we go. I always keep a little pin there just to get that glue going. Okay, so we're gonna put this glue here. So back to the story. Julianne, this is their third little girl, and the first one came 2 months early. The second one came 1 month early. This one actually has stayed in the womb the longest. Okay, so we're going to put this on the back. So I'm going to turn these over and go ahead and put them on the back, and then I'll show you how I'm going to fold it. So little miss is to come here soon. So it's just been one big happy birthing clan here recently. By Thanksgiving, we will have 5 grandchildren under 4 that just came wham, bam, 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 which is awesome because they're all so cute together, playing together, and they're all going to be relatively the same age right now, so I love that. Okay, so this was the back, okay, and this is the front, and that's how I know how I'm putting together my cards so that I don't mess it up. When you open it up here, I wanted something on this side, so I did that same cross hatching, but I did it with white, and I did it with the, this is the back of the card. I did it with white. Oh wait, they're right here. They are. I did them in white just because I wasn't sure if I ended up doing this card for class that I'd have enough silver foil, because it would take a lot of silver foil to do that. So I just went ahead and gave us another great design element by just embossing, just using that embossing there and putting that white on here. Now these strips are the same as the silver strips. They're 1 3/8. Okay, now we're gonna remember that whenever I go to fold this, this is gonna be coming in here. It's actually going to fold over here, and it's gonna fold on this one. Okay, and that's how you're gonna have the design. But this is actually has that little 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch right there, so that whenever it stands up, I'll show you how that's going to go here and here. So when it stands up, it gives its the form of the card by having it not just be folded in half this way, but it has a little bit of a, you know, thing there, a little arch. Okay, so this next step I did is I put these 2 pieces in here, and these 2 pieces measure 1 5/8. 1 5/8. This is 1 3/8. This is 1 5/8 wide. Same height, 5 1/4. Okay, so I wanted to decorate, as you see on here. I used the Star of David. Actually, if you could see how many stamps I used on these 2 cards. And the reason why I did a lot of my stamping is I can tell you, anytime my hands get onto Night of Navy or Blackberry Bliss, there is going to be, it happens at class too with my girls, there's going to be trouble. It just seems to go everywhere. And even making these 2 cards, I had to do them a couple different times, making the panels, because I got blue ink either on my hands, then I touched the paper. One time I did the words, and then I ran it through embossing folder. I got it on the plate. So I was just one big Night of Navy mess up. So I decided to do some of the stamping before we did this. But I think this gives a nice accent on the inside of the card, and we can glue that down as well. It just seems crazy every time I'm working with Blackberry or Navy. And the funny part about it is those are 2 of my favorite colors to stamp with. They're just so crisp and clean and sharp looking. And then, but they just get everywhere, everywhere. We did our Stamp-A-Stack a week or so ago up in Pittsburgh, and our hands were just covered because we did that beautiful shepherd card, and we had blue everywhere. Okay, so that's the fun part of the card there. Now, your next step would be the way that Susan showed it, is that you would put your focal point on the middle of the card and then these tuck under, okay? So that's the way the card is supposed to be done. So you pop this up on the middle and then you fold those in. But I thought, after I looked at the video and then came over to my stamping desk and then was putzing around, I thought that there were two things. So I kind of do like, I don't think it looks weird still having this popped up here. I don't think it looks strange having a panel coming off this side. So I'm gonna just go with that and make it maybe a new design here. But I want this to be on the outside so everybody can see that. So I am going to. Now, I would say if you wanted to do a fun ribbon tying, I would put it in between these two layers here and then tie it. Why don't we just do that? Okay, so let's do that. But let's put some dimensionals on. Let's just use some up some of these edges here on my dimensionals, and we'll put them, we'll pop up the image. I have been working on getting all of these edges used up because there are a lot of them. Okay, so we're going to just leave, I'm going to give myself a little more. I told you I have a lot of edges. I usually save them for like long sentiment parts, but I'm just going to give myself a little bit of pop up here. Okay, and I'm going to put that on. This is the deckled rectangles. On this card, I used the everyday details. The everyday details dies I used on these. Those are the dies that I am including in my featuring of my Busy Bee bag for November. We're going to be using this beautiful stamp set, You Are Beautiful, and I'm pairing it with the Everyday Essentials dies. And if you already have them, that's great. If you don't, you can substitute other things and then I pay the shipping on it. But this one, we're using the deckled rectangles. And like I said, I went ahead and put some space. Well, I did not take off the protective coating off my dimensionals. You know, if you don't, it doesn't stick. Newsflash, Cindy. Okay, so let's get, did I get that off? No, I didn't. I thought I had the other piece off. Okay, so get off all that protective there and get it on straight, which it's not on straight. It's because I didn't take it off. I'm stepping ahead. When I did my little commercial for the Busy Bee bag, if you haven't tried one, I think you should. They're really fun. I include $20 to $25, usually up to $25 is usually how it goes. You get DSP, some embellishments or ribbon, whatever I've decided to use in that designing. And like I said, I specifically designed the cards so that if you don't have the stamp set or you want to sub out a different stamp set, you can easily do that and still use my kits. So if you were going to do this, you would be able to put the ribbon through there and then just put some dimensionals on the back of here. So that is what I'm going to do, but I want to find a dimensional pack that I'm going to use the big parts of it. So let's open up a new pack of dimensionals. Oh, isn't that always exciting? Even at class, when I hand the girls a pack of new dimensionals, they're like, ooh. Okay, so we're gonna put 3 of them on here. Okay, and that is what is going to be keeping on the front portion of this card. And like I said, I actually, if it weren't for the fact that I wanted to use, okay, let's close the card and then look at keeping it straight in the middle. If I wasn't looking at wanting to use so many pieces of the stamp set, I would have just used that, but I really like the fact that this one is popping up. So seriously, this was a very happy accident. That I actually made the card the wrong way. Okay, this is the good side. There we go. Happy Hanukkah. I love that this stamp set has Happy Hanukkah, small Hanukkah. They have the 2 different spellings of the Hanukkah, and they have the just whatever size you need. And I loved on this one with the dreidel, and it had to spin, spin, spin. Actually, I probably should have did spin, this spin, and this one at the end, but I liked putting the 2 fonts on the end, but the exclamation points in the middle, I don't know, Cindy, was that very good to do? Okay, so on this one, just so that it pops up, you don't want to adhere it because the card is going to fold in. So what I just did is I used some of my tear and tape, and guess what? Tear and tape is a 1/4 inch wide, and it fit right on my silver foil. So just pop that on there, and then get your, my take your pick tool is right here, and get off, oh well, don't use the putty side, use this side, and get off the protective coating off of the tear and tape, and just pop Happy Hanukkah right in the middle there, and it's free to move on this side, okay? Now, once again, like I said, if you make this card the way Susan did it, these would fold in like this, okay? But I ended up making that accident, which I kind of liked, okay? Now, you want to be able to write a little message there. So I just wrote using another stamp, 2 stamps, Celebrate the Miracle. And what an amazing miracle how God provided for the Maccabees. It's so amazing, such an amazing story. Look it up if you have not read it to see how amazing God is for his people. And I put the Star David on there as well. And then you can write a message. Now, where did I put, oh, here it is. And this is 1 5/8 because it's going in this section here. And I'm not going to get really gluey because if you put too much glue on there, it might glob up, and when somebody's writing, their pen will skip over that big blob. So you can write your message right there. So then it just closes up, and we will tie it. So this is, like I said, another way. If you didn't want to, that was a goofy pair of scissors. If you didn't want to, you don't have to tie it closed, but you know what? If you hadn't done that, if I hadn't made the accident when I did this, technically you know what I'm thinking. What keeps the card closed is it tucking under here. Now think of this piece wasn't here and it tucked under, your sentiment tucks right in under there. But I kind of like having that extra little part to that card. Now, I know you're all thinking and you're trying to yell through the video, Cindy, you did not put anything on top of the candles. So we're gonna pretend everything has happened, and we're gonna stick a big rhinestone right here on this middle candle. And then we're gonna take, now you can tell how old these rhinestones are. They have the old green labeling on them. So we're going to, I guess that should be a little bit up from the candle. That would look a little better. But I kind of like the little bit of white space. But this one, okay, I got it off. Okay, so a big one there, and then another one here, and another one there. And isn't that fun how the rhinestones play off the silver foil and the silver in the ribbon? Another one here. I tried to put a little different color on the candles, and I used Misty Moonlight when the candelabra was Night of Navy. You really can't tell. So, I mean, a tiny bit you can, so I'm glad I did it, because then it wasn't just all navy, 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 and it really needed to have the rhinestones on it to really jazz up the front of that card. And then you just have that silver there, sending love and light, happy Hanukkah on the inside. And like I said, you can easily just send it this way too. And it just opens up like this, and it has this fun display there. And you have a fun part on the inside. And I kind of do like that I put this front on because there are so many images in here. Oh, I love this circle here with the menorah on there too. Wow, this is just, and oh, and I love the coins on here. Did you notice those? I put the coins that you play the dreidel with up here on this Happy Hanukkah. So I think this is a fun card for our Jewish friends. So let's pray for Israel. Keep them in our hearts and in our prayers. And if you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to call me at 724-323-2296. And you can email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. If you get notifications of subscribing to my blog, that comes from WordPress. That does not come from cindyleeb@gmail.com. So if you have a question that you want answered, please email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com so it doesn't get lost on if you comment on the blog post that you received, it could get lost getting to me. So just make sure if you need to ask me a question or something that you text me at 724-323-2296. And don't forget to take a look at my blog for the November 2024 Busy Bee Bag. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.